Billy, the Caps have had the Bruins number recently, and by recently, I mean for a while. They've won the last 13 meetings with the Bees. Why does Washington play so well against Boston? What's this about?
Braden Holtby. That's not to disrespect anybody else, but if you look at his career record, ever since he was a rookie against the Boston Bruins in the playoffs, and the Bruins lost to them in 7 games, Holtby is unbelievable. Regular season record, what is it, 15-2-0 against the Bruins? It's ridiculous what he's been able to do against them. Now, he's not the only reason. Other guys like Backstrom, like Ovechkin, have been able to flourish against the Bruins. They seem to move very efficiently through the neutral zone. But when it's all said and done, and I'm sure Billy Lindsay can attest to this, eventually, if every team has one team that they really do well against and one team that they just don't do well against, and Jackie, you can't explain it. It's just one of those things sometimes where you say, you go into the game, you feel great, you want to go out there and do all the right things, and you get it to, 2-2 with 2 minutes left, and the other team scores. Sometimes another team does get in their head, and I think there's a little bit of that. Now, as of late, let's not forget, earlier in the year, Caps dominated them 7-0. I'll tell you, in that game, that wasn't Holtby. The Bruins were just awful in that game, and the Caps were fantastic opening night.
Well, the Bruins will look to beat the streak, so to speak, tonight against the Capitals. Off the top, when I was welcoming you in, Billy, I mentioned that the Boston has lost 77 games to injury in terms of players on their roster, but they've managed to keep in the mix in the East. What's been the most noticeable to you over that time span? What's been noticeable to you about how they've been able to manage that?
Well, first of all, they played a different style a bit. They tweaked it here and there when they had all the guys out. They simplified some things. But what's been most noticeable since all these guys, Jackie, have come back into the lineup is that it took them a couple of games, but now the chemistry and the depth is coming through. They're not just relying now on Bergeron, Marchand, or Pastrnak to do the scoring. You're seeing guys, Jake DeBruski's one of their top forwards, no doubt about it. He's picked up his game as of late. Let's not forget that he missed 9 games as well. But now you've got guys like Sean Corrali, scored 2 game-winning goals in a row for them. Chris Wagner putting up points. Noah Lachari. You can look back at the defense, too. They're starting to produce. I mean, Torrey Krug has been fantastic as of late. So now you're seeing the depth of the Bruins come through. And basically, Jackie, this is the lineup, more or less. Still no Charlie McAvoy, and Joakim Nordstrom is out as well. But this is the lineup that they more or less expected. So now that everybody's back, they feel like they've got a solid depth that can produce. And that's been the most noticeable thing lately.
Well, in terms of special teams, the Bruins' power play certainly gets a lot of attention. But why does their PK deserve a little more recognition?
Because since mid-December, they've been fantastic. It's just 2 penalties or 2 power play goals against, and both of them were in a game in late December against the New Jersey Devils when the Bruins had an absolute, just an awful showing. They slept through the game here at TD Garden coming out of the Christmas break, and it happens. They've been able to rectify since then and go on this nice streak. But otherwise, overall, their PK, getting Chara back helps. Kevin Miller back helps. I'll tell you who's been awesome on the PK has been Brandon Carlo. You want to talk about the young D-man really elevating his game. I think we're seeing him blossom right before our very eyes in the last couple of weeks or so. But also up front, you're getting Patrice Bergeron back. They're closing on guys quicker, especially half wall down low. They're winning battles. They made some adjustments, Jackie, when all those guys were out of the lineup that they've used now with them back in, and it's really done a nice job. And their PK, it was pretty putrid early on in the season, is now it's the hottest in the NHL.
Well, taking on a team like the Washington Capitals, they might need that PK tonight if they take any penalties. Bruins playing host to the defending Stanley Cup champs tonight. Thanks for this, Billy.